thankful for the beauty of this day, for all the blessings that you've given us. Thankful for the opportunity that we had to serve this good city. Pray that you would bless us as a board, as the things that we do, the things that we say will be those things that will be beneficial to our community. Help us always to consider you in the things that we do, Father, to keep you first in our lives. Bless us as we serve and forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Would you lead us in pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One addition to the agenda, there will be a closed session meeting immediately after this regular session. Next up, public hearing, rezoning 1811 Southwest Drive.
The planning commission has approved the zoning. It would be from residential to commercial. And we just have to vote on it.
We vote on it next meeting. We have, if anybody wants to, it's public hearing right now, so if anybody wants to comment, we know what this is going to be used for.
The person interested is wanting to put in a funeral home.
You know where it is? Across from the highway department.
Oh, okay.
Across from Memorial Gardens.
Where that house is for sale at?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they're gonna move that house and they're gonna use that house. He's gonna redo it and live in it, I think.
Okay, any other comments? No, we're going to public comments. I think we have a distinguished guest here, Mr. Mitchell.
Good company sent me.
You need your Bible, please.
Yeah, moving like I was.
Girls and boys, distinguished councilmen, members and ladies, even our co-counselor there, good to be here again. On behalf of, I found that I write my notes, I don't have to ramble so much, it's not going to be sort of long anyway, so I thought I wrote it down a little bit of it. Parts of it I wrote. On behalf of Wilson Fireworks and Pico Pharmacy, I would like to present a check for $50,000 for fireworks to the city of Kennett. But in reality, I'm going to give $5,000. These fireworks.
That's what he looks like.
If you all ever have time or interested, I'll tell you what I discussed more money for more fireworks. I'll tell you how that conversation went sometime if anybody's interested in it.
Yeah.
First, I have a story with a lesson attached to it to tell you. It's a long story. Most of you don't know. It's last year at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. on the 4th, and I just happened to notice for some reason that there were trucks parked over by the pro shop at the golf course, and people out walking around. And I knew that as bad as we needed money for greens feeds, if they wanted to play golf, I was just going to wander over there and see maybe they were passing through and wanted to play golf. Sure enough, they were the people with the fireworks. I was informed they had been given one phone contact in Kennett to call when they got here with the fireworks. And the location was the pro shop. I asked them if they wanted to go to the restroom, if they need to go get something to eat or something to stall them, give them a little time and so on, because I didn't have any authority to do anything as usual. And they said, no, we need to unload it, like now. We need to get unloaded. So, being really inquisitive, I wondered why and so on, and they said that they were on their way to Blytheville. They had to go from here to Blytheville and unload, and then come back here and set up. So I knew that George Workman knew Jesse's, the pro's cell phone number. So that didn't work, and so he called Dr. Rouse. In the meantime, I called Mr. Roger Wheeler. I figured surely between them, they all know something about something. Brandon's on the country club board and Roger was on the council, and I thought one of them may know where they had decided to set these things, because evidently it was a designated place they had to be put. Sure enough, called both of them, and sure enough, both of those guys came in the pickups right away and got it worked out. But what I would suggest is that we do have more than one contact, whomever it is, because there wasn't anybody in the city government or anybody else even given a number, and those particular delivery people never had been here before. They just barely could find Kennett, Missouri. But anyway, that's my moral of the story. If you think about this year, give somebody a number or let somebody know where you want them set up, because it was getting tragical. He said they need to get undone and to Blytheville and back before dark. So anyway, that's my story. And hope everybody enjoys them. And I think they were real good last year. And maybe they can still sit at the fair board. Is that a problem?
I don't know.
It seems to be a good location to watch. But anyway, okay. And
They are scheduled for July the 1st instead of the 4th. That was what they had open.
did not know that. Really?
Fireworks, are they doing the flowers?
First
Which is a Tuesday?
Wednesday or something. I don't know if they go by, pardon me, by dollar amount, and if you spend more money, it's on the 4th, but that's what they told me. I've had one conversation with them so far.
Can we have any more conversations?
I can call them,
Is this the same company we've been using?
yes, out of Copper Bluff, Wisdom.
That's interesting, I did not know that, but anyway, what there has to be.
Your experience level, I think you should hit up that list.
Of people that be notified.
What about you and Kenny getting a picture?
Okay.
Before it runs off? Would you care?
Sure.
Okay, you can, well.
Keith, they want a picture.
Well, then just keep in the mayor.
Weekend you could do it.
Mayor's coming down.
That's no good, Bill.
Wilson, South.
Fireworks.
Fireworks.
He can be a fireworks person tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would give you money back each.
I don't know how much. Don't do it.
All right,
Do it on the
take
first.
two, just make sure we're all right, okay? 1, 2, 3. Y'all look pretty, but I'm gonna do it one more time. 1,
Oh,
2,
so that's good. Turn it on the fourth.
thank you.
Go.
They're gonna
There,
fire.
and that's
I
not
will
good.
call them tomorrow.
Wednesday, that's scheduled for Saturday.
Wednesday's not
Will be
good.
9 o'clock,
Yeah.
so everybody should be out of church by then.
See you.
I'll call them.
Keith,
Sir.
thank you very much, we
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
All do. I
Sure, buddy.
appreciate your work too also.
Thanks, bud.
In your package, you have the minutes from the regular meeting on May 19th.
Motion.
Motion, second?
Second.
Second. Any corrections, additions? Comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Welcome reports. From Melissa, Street Department.
Good evening. I want to thank you, the allocation of money to put a new roof on the street department. I was out of town last week, and I walked back, went down there Sunday after it was raining, and I didn't have to put any out, any salt caution of wet floors. And it was very nice to walk through the building and have a dry building, so I appreciate it. Just a comment, I mentioned during the winter months, how tough the winter months with the freezing and the thawing, all the rain and everything is on their streets, but, just kind of a reminder, it's still ongoing. We're not having the freezing and the thawing right now, but with all the moisture still getting in the cracks, we're finding lots of problems with our streets that we didn't have earlier in the spring or last fall. So, the moisture is hurting us as well as it is recreational people, the ball games, the golf course, the farmers, and everybody else. So, had a second contractor in town, and this morning I got a estimate on work on 3rd Street. I just gave that to the street committee members. We'll be looking at that, and I'm sure we'll be back in touch with you on that type of information on that. The cleanup Kennett campaign, the free roll-offs at the compost, I feel like was successful. Here's the list of all the names of the people that came through. 699 loads in 3 weeks. We had several days of rain or partial rain during that. Like I told you last time, we extended that for the 3rd week, and our numbers were 255, 266, and 178 loads per week. So, even the 3rd week where we got publicity, I'm not saying that, but, we pushed it, for the first 2 weeks. But I felt like the 3rd week was still worth it, and we came in under budget. I've got my numbers from my people on how many roll-offs went off, but Brandon was weren't able to give me a number today, so I could give you tonight, but we came in well under budget on that. So maybe we can consider doing that again sometime. And the last thing I have, Mayor Hancock was a councilman. He asked for budget or information on account balances every month. And as of yesterday, the transportation sales tax had $706,736.09. We've got a lot of work already scheduled, for that. But we've still got more stuff to do, and get out there. We've got some money to spend to get going on that. So hopefully we make progress this summer also. Thank you.
Just to follow up on that report there, if I could, just to warn y'all of that project on 3rd Street. It's possible that 160,000 of it will have to come out of capital expense rather than transportation tax, because it's related to sewer system and things like that. So it's a pretty major chunk that's possible that's going to hit us here. So.
Real quick, one big thing coming up, the Cat Patrol Bridge and his teams at the Police Academy are getting things ready to go for that here in the next 2 weeks. In your packet, you have a resignation of Larry Morris Jr. He had resigned from full-time and stayed on as a part-time officer, but he had went back to New Hampshire County Ambulance Service, and his hours are picking up, so therefore he didn't feel it was right to stay on as a reserve officer, not be able to work part-time very many hours, so he's resigned. And he has turned in his stuff, so he appreciates working for the city, and thanks the council for that. With that said, Bill and Ray Stevens just recently graduated out of the academy, and he's asked, and he's applied for a position on the Kennett Police Department part-time. He graduated the 29th of May. He does have his Class A license, and he has several other certifications or special training that he has taken in the past, and he received honors in the ground fighting and self-defense portion of the class. We asked that he be hired as a part-time police officer, again immediately, and it would be at $12 per hour. He'd be on a 6-month probation. There was a background check and references checked on the individual with an interview
motion.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
You have the animal control report, it's a total of 661 activities between radio calls and out and around, people dropping animals off, and calling a direct. And last thing is, you'll have, come up on the agenda is the housing authority contract with 2 officers. And we'll have that later on the agenda. The code enforcement, I'll have that report, fire marshal's report, and the fire report at the next meeting. I had the code enforcement, but I did not get another copy made up or had time to make a copy to give them out to you. And with that, mowing crew still hitting and missing in between the rains. I don't know how bad it would look if we didn't have a mowing crew out there. So they've been around. We've got a few spots we gotta get back with them on to do, and key spots within the city, but overall it's looking a little better. I went down North Bypass and they done a swap down there, it looks a lot better, and on down towards a highway. And so a lot of the rain is keeping them from getting down into the bottom of the ditches where they'll hang up the mowers and stuff. So that's going pretty good. No other activities at this time. Anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a follow-up. Just didn't get it written down. I had a verbal resignation today from one of our probationary employees. I've got several applicants, or applications still on file. I'd like to go ahead and try and fill that position back. Possibly bring that forward at the next meeting.
Moving on to old business, the dog pound expansion, I think we can table that. Roger's not here and he's been taking care of that.
I'll give him a report. We haven't hauled any dirt down there because it's been too wet, so I don't think there's been much else done.
I set up a solution, run it down.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we got vacation day payout. I think in the packet there you have a list of the employees, the days that's been carried over, extension.
There's one more that needs to be marked through, and that's Randy. And that does not reflect on the total.
It's gonna be somewhat less than this then.
Discussed this at the previous meeting, and what we'd like to do is clear the books, get that in fiscal year 2014-15, we start a new year.
Finance committee discussed it thoroughly and felt like the best route was to continue on with the payout as we discussed. So I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with the payout of vacation time as previously discussed.
I'll second that.
Motion second. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Diane, you can proceed.
Okay.
So that amount is 61,185 minus the 62,77.
Right.
It's not the whole amount, is it?
Is it the whole amount or?
Pardon? Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
he said he's gonna be taking his.
Okay.
And I thought that Tim said last month he would be here every month, but he's not here, so. The only update we have is that we've given them the approval for aircraft.
Yeah, I know they drove by Vargas District 6 times Thursday night. And I can sit outside. I like it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be hot enough for them, so I don't know.
One little bit of information on Victor, the CLGW has gone through the first billing cycle. And I think there was 5,700 on the count. After after, I guess, feedback from the public, and what have you, they had looked at how they were coming up with the bills. Like the first one was strictly on meters, then they decided to do a blend of locations and meters, and that number had dropped down, a projected number had dropped down to 40,000. And they had some good discussion at their last board meeting, and they're reviewing that, or going back, still coming up with exactly how it's going to work. But, they're trying to be fair. If you have a property and you have a meter on your house and a meter on the shop, you get one bill. But not only go too far the other way, if you're one of our landlords and you've got a lot of properties, we're looking at that like one person, one bill. So that's kind of going the other extreme, but they're working on it, and nice comments were they would get it worked out. Main thing we're interested or concerned about is that it generates enough money to pay the bill.
And right now, that we got a deposit of 10,000 and something.
So at least getting started off here, the city is subsidizing it a little bit. Moving into new business, we have a housing authority contract for 2 police officers in front of you. John, do you want to talk about this?
Contract, reviewed it. It's for 2 officers, and it's set up where it pays both the, it allows for the officers to provide emergency backup assistance if they're on their housing patrol to regular on-duty officers. And it pays for the overtime and holiday pay and salary, benefits and training incurred by the city for 1, and this is actually for 2 officers. And it's for quarterly billing. They'll pay within 10 days of the billing that's issued. And the maximum compensation is $60,000 during the contract period, unless we mutually agree. Well, this is for 24 months. So,
What is this on page 3 where it says the authority shall pay and reimburse?
we
for
paid
one
their
security-
salary and,
For one, no, for one security control officer.
well,
Why is it
I seen it earlier. There's actually, at first, there's like 2 contracts, I believe. There was one grant, and then there was a second one added. 3, it talks about, let's see. On page 2, it says 2 additional officers, hire, train, equip, supervise 2 additional officers, employees of the city's police department, for the, it talks about it there.
Well, don't we need to have her change that to 2 security officers instead of 1 on page 3? Outside of page 3. It's actually on page 4 of the.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that's
why-
why.
But it says page 3.
Yeah.
Right now, the compensation, it says 1.
Well, there's actually 2 contracts, so, yeah, we can have that trained.
I'll compare it with, I mean, this is the same contract we've used for 20 years. They're paying 2.
Yes, they have been paying for 2.
I don't know, I mean, I obviously didn't prepare this,
Right, so
so I don't know where the 20 comes in.
shouldn't we have it changed to 2 if they're paying for
Well, this maximum compensation, that's 60,000 for 2 years, that's for 2 officers for 2 years?
2? For everything, for overtime?
That far off.
There should be two, yeah.
Yeah, it should be, it's for two officers.
Is it three total,
Yeah, but on,
different contracts?
Yes.
There's another
Yes.
contract.
Yeah, there's a third contract. There's three officers, actually.
Three total.
It says they're
I
paid
thought,
overtime
did we
and
lose
all.
an officer somewhere? I thought we grew.
No, you still got one contract for one and the second for two.
Yeah.
You approved the other one just a couple months ago.
But this one, there's something wrong with this, because like I said, it says maximum compensation shall not exceed $60,000 for 24 months.
There's 15,000 for
There's a separate
officers.
contract, there's another contract.
For these people,
no.
I think this is messed up. Let's see what we're doing.
Johnny, when's this due by?
Yeah, this is
July 1st, I think.
July 1st?
Yeah.
It's due by July 1st. I mean, we can come back and.
What a
Think we
meeting with
table
the
it or
Arch
get better
State.
information?
No, I think we'll go ahead and pass this one, I think, didn't we just pass the one that pays for two? Didn't we just approve that not long ago?
This is the one that says it's for two.
No, it says that, where they pay for two.
This is supposed to be the one for two.
Let's approve this contract with the change for two. That way we go ahead and have it approved and we'll make the change, with the change in it.
But can we make the change in the money? I mean, that $60,000 is not enough for two officers for 24 months. And holiday pay, it's not enough just for straight
No.
salary.
15,000 a year for.
No.
15 for.
So can we change that? I mean, how do we know they're gonna pay it?
Or something like that.
Diane's got a
Let
meeting.
me look at it, yeah, let me look at it. This is the first I saw this.
That thing here.
But there's up compared to the one officer, the contract for one officer.
Yeah, I know it.
How much are they paying for the other contract for one officer?
Where they got the figure.
Okay.
I hadn't seen this.
Anyway, if you have a copy of it, we'll bring it back up under old business next week. Thanks.
Handbook revision, the salt lot.
I'm sorry.
Handbook revision, would you like to comment on that?
Oh, yeah. Told you we didn't do it, yeah, sorry. Yes, there's been an issue that has come up, and I wish everybody had a copy of the handbook, but you don't. So, it comes under, it's in chapter 5 under employee fringe benefits. Despite the fact that it says in here, fringe benefits shall not be extended to part-time employees, then it goes down under holidays and says, regular part-time employees shall receive compensation in proportion to the average numbers of hours normally scheduled to work. This has kind of created a problem, and it's totally in conflict. We don't have really that many part-time employees, which is another issue, but, I guess just to make it simple, I'll go ahead and make the motion and we can have some discussion about it, that we, take that sentence out of the holiday pay, where it states that regular part-time employees shall receive compensation, regarding the hours normally scheduled to work. But we just take that sentence out so that there's no question that we're not paying part-time employees for holiday pay. And, you know, we can have another discussion later on if we want about when we do actually get around to getting the handbook revised. And I guess in the new budget too, but right now, it would be simpler and probably make it easier to explain to employees that they don't get fringe benefits if they're part-time, like it says. And then that, like I said, is in conflict when it goes right down there and says that they shall receive holiday pay. So we take that sentence out. I said, that's my motion, that we take it out.
Need a second, that's second.
Motion and second. Any
Are you
discussion,
saying they're
any
not gonna
questions?
get paid overtime pay if they work holiday, or
No.
has nothing to do with overtime?
Has nothing to do with.
They just don't get benefits, right? Like
Holiday pay.
Holiday pay.
Just like if they're part-time workers,